Extra, extra, read all about it. Phase 4 of the Heroic AAT raid completely exposed. Read more about it inside. Hey guys, what is going on? McMole2 here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to solo Phase 4 with a Resistance team that has BB8 instead of R2-D2. In my earlier video with BB8 and the raid, I theorized that you could solo Phase 4 pretty easily, and thankfully that has proven to be very true here. You can actually solo this in just a couple of topples. I ended up using 6 topples overall to finish off Phase 4. You have a maximum of 15 or 16 that you can do before the tank kills you off. So he's very easy to kill with this thanks to the BB8 and what he brings to the table. So I'll cover the mods real quick. I've gone over the mods with Resistance in my other video, and basically it's going to have the same rules applied here. You're going to focus on crit chance and crit damage with Finn, Pilot, and Resistance Trooper. You're going to focus on speed with Poe, and I talked about how I wasn't sure of the mods yet on BB8, so let's go ahead and talk about how I have BB8 modded and why, and then we'll talk about the overall tactics. For BB8, the only thing you need to worry about with his mods is speed. You want to make him as fast as possible. Focus your best speed mods on BB8. Like you can see here, I'm throwing my best mods with the best secondary speeds on him. The trick is you want to make him go as fast as you can because you want to spam his covert data transfer. We'll talk about that more in the tactics, but really you want him going fast so he can use that ability more often, so you can reduce the cooldowns on his Illuminate Destiny. And you want to Illuminate Destiny as much as possible because it gives a lot of offensive buffs to your entire team and also does some exposes, so it's really going to help your team move faster and deal more damage. There's only 2 abilities that you need to fully upgrade for BB8 to make him useful with your Resistance in the raid, and thankfully both of them are only Omega upgrades. The first one is on his basic attack. The Omega here will add that he can apply Daze after the target already has Tenacity down, and that Daze is vital like we've talked with before at the last P4 solo video with Resistance. You need a Daze from Rey because that allows you to keep the B2s alive, and the other Omega that you're going to need for BB8 is his Illuminated Destiny because that's what adds in all of the protection regeneration plus all of the buffs like offense up, crit chance up, crit damage up, and the advantage and speed up. All those buffs all comes from the Omega upgrade. It's probably one of the best Omega upgrades you can find in the game, just like with Commander Luke Skywalker and his Use the Force ability. This is another ability where you can make a case that it should be a Zeta upgrade, but I will definitely take the Omega upgrade instead. So both those abilities, the only 2 you really need to fully upgrade to make this team viable. The other ones are kind of nice, but they're more really for droid synergies, so you don't have to worry about getting them fully upgraded for a Resistance team. The goal here with BB8 is that at the very beginning of the fight, you need him to use his basic attack on one of the B2 Super Battle Droids twice. You need to have that Tenacity down applied from his first basic attack, and thankfully the Tenacity down cannot be resisted in the game, so if he lands an attack on the B2 Battle Droid, it is going to land Tenacity down. Once you have Tenacity down on that droid, you will need to use a basic attack on from BB8 again to make sure that you apply the Daze on that same B2 Battle Droid. Once that Daze is in place, you can safely attack the main body of the tank without any fear of repercussions through the Relentless Barrage from the B2. That Relentless Barrage will allow the B2 to use its AoE Dispel that can inflict ability block, and that's just not going to be good. That is why your Resistance teams can do so well with the Daze in there, because you can then control that B2 Super Battle Droid. It allows you to apply AoE exposes to it via Poe's Taunt, and also now Illuminate Destiny from BB8 as well. So both of those abilities are going to be able to apply exposes to the B2 Super Battle Droid, and anytime an expose is applied to an enemy, Resistance Trooper will gain 55% turn meter thanks to his unique guerrilla tactics. So allowing those exposes to land on the B2 without even having to attack the B2, you can then boost the turn meter for Resistance Trooper, who is the only Resistance character who can apply expose on his basic attack. This is going to be one of your most reliable mechanisms to apply expose. It's the only one that's not going to be on any sort of cooldown, so you can use the Resistance Trooper to apply a lot of exposes, and he's going to be moving pretty fast anyways with all the exposes landing, and thankfully this is just going to allow you to really do a lot of damage. This all combines together with the Zeta on Finn's leadership ability, Balanced Tactics, where Resistance allies gain bonus turn meter and cooldown reductions every time an enemy takes damage from an expose. The whole lifeblood of a Resistance team in the raid is through exposes, so you need to make sure you maximize your exposes abilities. That is why I'm using this team of Finn, Poe, BB8, Resistance Trooper, and Resistance Pilot. All 5 of these characters can apply exposes through some method. Resistance Trooper is the only one who can apply through his basic attack, but the rest of these characters can apply exposes through special attacks or even special abilities like Illuminate Destiny from BB8, the Taunt from Poe. Both of those can do AoE exposes. You have Finn, which can do 100% chance to expose, barring the Tenacity check, and you have Pilot, who can also expose through her special ability, though I should note it's only a 60% chance to apply an expose, just like Resistance Trooper, and that brings in the next factor of this fight, and that is going to be through RNG. When it comes to what abilities you want to use on BB8, the one thing you won't always be using is Covert Data Transfer. This is going to give secret intel to one ally plus BB8, and the secret intel buff is going to give additional 25% potency to that ally, and also allows them to spread it out to other allies whenever they use a special ability. As I said before, most of your exposures are coming from special abilities, so your characters are going to be keeping that secret intel buff on them. But also, most importantly, that secret intel buff is going to protect your characters from the airstrike at the end of each topple. The airstrike will do massive damage to any character that does not have a buff on them. That's pretty much going to one-shot your characters, and that's going to ruin the raid for you. So you need to make sure you keep buffs up, and the secret intel buff is going to be vital for that. Also, anytime that an ally uses a special ability, the cooldown on Illuminate Destiny is reduced by 1 for each ally that has a secret intel buff. So if you attack a target that has an expose with a special ability, the expose is already going to reduce the cooldown of Illuminate Destiny by 1, and then if all allies have secret intel buff, that's another 5 cooldown off of the Illuminate Destiny. So using a special on an exposed target is really going to take 6 turns off the cooldown for Illuminate Destiny. This is going to allow BB8 to use his ability a lot, as you see during this fight. He's using that Illuminate Destiny a lot, he's doing a lot of buffs, he's doing a lot of exposes to the opposing team, and that just makes this team so much better just because of how often he's using that ability and just what it's making your characters do. You can see the characters are doing a lot of pretty good damage. Pilot and Trooper both hitting in the good 30 to 40 region with all the critical hits they're doing from their special and basic attacks. So making sure you can keep that buff up often is going to be key here. But going back to what I mentioned earlier with RNG, that is going to be the main problem with your resistance teams. It's always been a thorn in the side of a resistance team because most of your abilities have a chance to apply expose, not a guaranteed chance like Finn's takedown ability. You have Trooper and Pilot both a 60% chance to apply expose. Same with Post Taunt. BB8 does have the guaranteed chance to apply an expose like Finn does, but you still have to pass the tenacity check. And even with tenacity down, the target still has a 15% chance to resist any debuffs placed on it. So you are still going to have that issue, but thankfully you do have a very minimized chance now, so it's going to be a lot easier. But you are going to have times where it rears its ugly head, and you're just going to watch 4 or 5 straight expose attempts bounce right off the tank, and things aren't going to get exposed, and the tank is going to move, and your topple is going to be cut short early. This is the main problem with the tank. This is a major frustration with resistance teams, and this is just something that you have to learn to accept and deal with. And the best players out there will learn to adapt to it and still manage to maximize as much damage as they could, even if the tank decides to go happy with resisting everything. So the main trick here with that is to just persevere. If you do have a bad topple, if you don't have a lot of good RNG going your way with exposes, just fight through it, accept that it's going to happen, and then just keep trucking on, trying to apply those exposes and making sure that you can get things applied very well. The other thing I should note here is that Resistance Trooper, he will take a lot of turns, so you have to be careful and make sure that he always keeps a buff on him. If you know that he's about to lose his secret intel buff, use his special ability. That will give him the secret intel buff back, because if he loses that buff before BB8 can apply secret intel to him again, you are going to lose Resistance Trooper, and without Resistance Trooper, your team is going to suffer a lot. He is the main character that is going to really be the engine for your exposes, so without Resistance Trooper, your run is going to really suffer. So making sure that he stays alive is going to be key, and then of course making sure that you keep tenacity down on the main body of the tank with BB8, so making sure you attack every now and then to apply tenacity down again, that is going to be key as well. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. If you all have any questions, feel free to ask down below in the comment section. I'll do what I can to answer them. I hope you guys are enjoying watching all these exposes stack up on that B2 Super Battle Droid. If you all enjoyed this video, feel free to like and share it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people out there who could really use this video, figure out how to best use Resistance Team to solo Phase 4. But as always, guys, I hope you all are having a good weekend, and I will talk to you guys later.